Allan Aguirre with your Incorruptible 2-minute warning. It's Friday. I haven't made my It's Friday thing yet. Soundbite. I have my Monday.
It's Monday.
But I have one for Friday. I just haven't set it up yet. You remember how long it took me to do these? Yeah, it took me forever.
It's Monday.
Yeah, I'm turn that off. Yeah. Hey, so we've been Incorruptible 2-minute warning. We're talking about we're going through the book of the letter of James. We're going through the letter of James, and we're just kind of tearing it apart, taking it piece by piece. And it's Friday. That's right. It's Friday, so we're in Friday mode. Well, yeah. Oh, I should probably launch the chat. Let me launch the chat in case somebody wants to chat or whatever. Where are you, chat? There you are, chat. All right, let me see here. All right, the chat is up and running. I'll just say hello. Hello. Yeah, I'm not sure how many of you watched that watched the other stuff, but I don't know if you know this. We have a conference that's coming up. We're doing a conference. Yeah. Doing a conference for Shavuot, which is also Pentecost. And we're counting and leading up to the biblical count of the Omer. Today's the 20th day. So this evening will be begins the 21st day, the third of 7 Sabbaths. Yeah, that means we've got a month to go after this before we all gather here in Lehi, Utah for the Shavuot conference, Pentecost Holy Spirit conference. I might as well put the link up for that. Hold on one second. I didn't know I was going to do this. That should be the link. Registration for the rooms ended last week. We're extending this through the 22nd, I believe. And then, we're not going to be able to take any more. If I'm sorry, I can't show up, I need a refund. We're going to have to pull that cord probably this weekend because we need to start preparing food and, buying all that. And, yeah. So, stop it. What else? James. What did we learn this week in James? We went through verses 13 through 18. Let no one say when he is tempted, I am being tempted by God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, and he himself tempts no one. It says that we're tempted by the lust of our own flesh, but each person is tempted when he is lured, enticed by his own desire. We do it to ourselves. Then desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin. So we have a desire. Are we going to allow ourselves to be lured and enticed by that desire? If we are, then it turns into sin. And then sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death. Yeah, if you can believe it, this is still going on. We're like on month 2. I'm all stuffed up now. I wasn't when we started. I don't know how spiritual it is. All I know is that it's absolutely ridiculously. I'm over it. Imagine if I was working in the studio trying to sing. I wouldn't be able to sing. What do you do? I've never had this issue. Anyway, so pray for me. I've never had allergies, and apparently I have allergies now. I don't know how the hell that happened. Apparently that happens as you get older. You just start deteriorating. I don't know. So anyway. Remember when Cain's offering wasn't received by God, and God's like, "Hey, what's wrong, dude? What are you all bummed out about?" And then he warns him. He goes, "Sin is crouching at the door, and it wants you, but you must master it. You must master this sinful desire." Well, it wasn't a sinful desire yet. Sin is crouching at the door, and it wants you, but you have to master it. Should we read it? Let's read it, because it's crazy. Because, and here's the thing. I know a lot of people out there. I know a lot of, quote, Christians out there that don't believe they have power and authority over their own flesh, power and authority over their own sin. And see, when you start believing that lie, then that will eventually mutate into, well, that's not sin, and then you start having your own fluid truth, right? Because absolutes, right? Oh, well, that's not sin. That's not wrong for me. I don't think that's wrong. I think that's okay. Yeah. And then, boom, we lose them, and they're lost to the sinful desires of their own flesh. It's crazy. All right, chapter 4 in Genesis. The Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry, and why has your face fallen? If you do well," see, if you do well, not, hey, I'm going to swoop down and save the day and override your programming so that you don't do anything wrong or bad. It doesn't work that way. I know the majority of Christianity believes that, or wants to believe that, or have convinced themselves that's how it works. But it doesn't work that way. You don't, right? And we've talked about this. If you don't speak in tongues, you don't heal the sick, you don't cast out demons, you don't raise the dead, you don't do any of those things because you haven't aligned yourself. You haven't positioned yourself. Not because God hasn't, no. God is telling Cain way back in Genesis chapter 4, if you do well, will you not be accepted? See, from Genesis to Revelation, the key component, the rules of engagement are that you have to do well. You have to delight yourself in the Lord, and then he'll give you the desires of your heart. You draw near to him, and then he draws near to you. You have to get off your fat, lazy ass and actually do something about something. And it just blows my mind how year after year after year after year, I've been doing this 42 years, and it just blows my mind how Christians just do not understand this. Christians just do not want to submit to the reality that the reason why their faith walk sucks is because of them. Not because of their pastor, not because of mommy or daddy, not because of husband or wife, not because of the devil, but because of you themselves, because of themselves. We're being told right here that, hold on, I've got a Band-Aid, and it says right here, don't say God tempted you, but each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Humans don't do what they don't like to do. They just don't. If you don't like beets, you don't eat beets. If you don't like going to the gym in the morning, you're not going to go to the gym in the morning. If you don't like running 5 miles every day, you're not going to run 5 miles every day. You don't do what you don't like to do. So if you have a sucky life, if your life sucks, it's because you like it there and you're not doing anything to change it. Each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. I can't tell you how often I hear people tell me how they hate their life. I don't like my life situation. I don't like my job. I don't like where I live. I don't like, this sin issue I have or whatever. They tell me this all the time, and I'm like, you know what? It's one thing that you've lied to yourself, and it's one thing that you're allowing yourself to be lied to, but why are you lying to me? Don't lie to me. Why would you insult me like that? I didn't do anything to you. That's a lie. If you didn't like your situation, you would change it. It's like, don't tell me what you want to be if you're not doing anything to be that. And I don't care. Lawyer, fireman, rock star. Don't tell me what it is. Don't tell me you want to be these things, but then you're not actively pursuing it or doing anything proactively to become that person. See, who you are in your physical life tells me a lot about your spiritual life. Your physical, normal, everyday life tells me a lot That's a huge window into what and how you deal with God, what and how you don't deal with God, what and how you deal with Scripture, whether you can read Scripture and understand it, whether you have even a comprehension level of understanding when you read the Bible. Most people don't. It's really weird. I don't understand it. I'm not that smart and I can understand it. It's just weird. But I also buy into it. See, that's the thing. If you have an agenda, each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Cain is told that if he does well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is contrary to you, but you must rule over it. You must master it. Some other translations say. Let's read that again. If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is contrary to you, but you must rule over it. Let's look at that. Verse 7. Genesis 4, verse 7. Let's see what, well, I'm not, you know what? Look it up. Just look it up. Genesis 4, verse 7. You have to master your life. You have to master your desires, your flesh, your attitude. Then desire desire. Its desire is contrary to you, but you must rule over it. It's in James. It's talking about each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Cain was pissed and he wanted to kill his brother. That's the desire he had. He had a desire for murder. He hatred, anger, bitterness, resentment, murder. And we've talked about how, you know what, I'm going to look this up. We talked about how those, anger, resentment, things of that nature. We talked about how that will just rot you spiritually. James. Oh no, I want to look at Genesis. I want to look at something in Genesis 4:7. See? On the fly. This is live, baby. This is live. We don't want a new international version. No, well, it doesn't matter. What the heck? Gosh. I used to like the Bible Study Tools website, but it's crap. Whatever they've done to it, they've changed the interface. It's horrible now. It's nothing but spam advertising. It's a worthless, well, it's at the verge of becoming a worthless resource. People. Why do they have to ruin stuff? Just look at this. It's all advertising. Okay. Genesis 4:7. If thou dost well, shall it not be lifted up? And if thou dost not well, sin crouches at the door, and unto thee shall be its desire. American Standard Version. What the heck? Bible in Basic English. Desiring to have you, but do not let it be your master. Sin is waiting at the door, desiring to have you. Common English Bible. But if you don't do the right thing, sin will be waiting at the door, ready to strike. It will entice you, but you must rule over it. Complete Jewish Bible. And if you don't do what is good, sin is crouching at the door. It wants you, but you can rule over it. Its desire is for you, but you must master it. Holman, Darby, and if thou dost, English Standard we already read. Good news, you have done evil. But because, here, let's read this. If you had done the right thing, you would be smiling. But because you have done evil, sin is crouching at your door. It wants to rule you, but you must overcome it. God's Word's translation, but if you don't do well, sin is lying outside your door, ready to attack. It wants to control you, but you must master it. Are you getting the idea here? Are you comprehending what is going on here? I hope you are. Did I just lose everybody? I wonder if I just lost everybody because I think I navigated off the tab Restream, which is what sends it to Facebook and YouTube. Did I just lose it? Can somebody tell me if I lost you just now when I was reading the various translations? in the comments? Can somebody tell me if I just lost everybody? Did I just lose everyone? I thought I had a new tab open when I clicked on that. Okay. But did you lose me? Did you hear me read the various translations for that verse? Did you hear me read the various? Okay, thank you. That means I didn't lose you. Oh, awesome. That's a good thing to know about this program. Okay, so are you getting the idea? I know it contradicts the majority of the theology you were raised in, the theology that's turned into doctrine that we've been taught, that you have no responsibility in the relationship with God, and you have no responsibility for anything, and blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? That's why Christianity is a cult. That's why Christianity is all screwed up. And that's why Christians are, well, Christians. They haven't been taught or equipped that, yes, they have the ability to master sin. Because what do they say? No one's perfect. Are you perfect, Allan? I don't even bother with those questions. If my level of perfection literally has nothing to do with you, when you're standing alone before God on Judgment Day, and He asks you, why didn't you walk proactively? Why did you hide and bury my talents and my minas? Why didn't you obey? Why didn't you draw near to me? Why didn't you walk in perfection and holiness? Well, Allan Aguirre isn't holy and perfect. You think that's going to work, dude? It doesn't work now. Do you think it's going to work then? Here, let me put it this way. That's not going to work on your Judgment Day, so it doesn't work now, puppet boy. See how I said puppet and not Muppet? Apparently too many people are copying me. Yeah, it doesn't work that way, Muppet. You're being told by God to avoid sin, to master sin, not to sin. That's not possible, Allan. We can't be without sin. It even says that, and then they misquote Paul. If any man says he's without sin, you're misquoting Paul, and you're just using that to deflect the fact that you sin because you like to sin. If you didn't like to sin, you wouldn't sin. It's really plain and simple. James says it's plain and simple. The writer of Genesis 4:7 says, you can master it. You must master it, because if you don't master it, guess what's going to happen, snowflake? You're going to sin. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're still doing this in 2022, that we're still breaking this down like this. It blows my mind. What are they teaching you guys at church these days? I mean, are they still not they're still not, I know what they're doing. They're teaching you that bacon is good. So, I mean, have you noticed that every men's group or men's getaway announcement has bacon in it? It's like, tell me the devil isn't involved with ransacking the men of the house. Tell me that the enemy isn't involved when it comes to ransacking men of faith. Man, it's a mind blower. Okay, where were we? Then desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin. And sin, what's sin? The breaking of the Torah, disobedience to God's commandments. And when that's fully grown, it brings forth death. The whole idea here is that you don't die. Okay? That's the whole idea. The whole idea here, the whole reason why we do Christianity, the whole reason for Christianity is so that you won't die, but that you will live. And in order for you to live and not die, there's Jesus. Jesus is how you can. Jesus is the bridge between you and life. Walk across that bridge, embrace that bridge, take on that bridge. And then when you get it right, and as you're crossing that bridge, you're obedient to so that you stay on that bridge, because you can fall off that bridge. All right. Don't be deceived, my beloved brothers. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights. There's a great song called Father of Lights. I think it's an old Vineyard song or something like that, that I still play today because it's an awesome Father of lights. You delight in your children. Father of lights, you never change. You've got no... Something like that, yeah. Every good and perfect gift comes from you. Yeah. Father of lights. We've been singing that since the 80s. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights. I want to walk in the light of your face, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to changing. There's no shadow of turning in Adonai. He chose to give us birth through the word of truth, through Jesus. He's created a royal priesthood that we might be a kind of first fruits of all he created. So, at the end of the Sabbath following Passover during Feast of Unleavened Bread, I just lost a whole bunch of Christians, is the Feast of First Fruits. It's when the high priest waves the barley, the first fruits, the first harvest of the year, the barley. Well, Jesus rose on that same night. Jesus rose after the Sabbath, after Passover. And he rose with a bunch of people. A whole bunch of other people rose from the dead, and he offered them as first fruits. And it's suggested that the reason why Mary, it's suggested that, it says that Mary, when she saw him, didn't recognize him. She thought he was the gardener. Is it possible that she thought he was the gardener because he was waving the wave sheaf offering as a high priest, as our high priest? Because remember, it mimics, he's the Passover lamb slain before the foundation of the world. He's not the Easter bunny slain before the foundation of the world. And it has to mimic God's order that he established through the prophet Moses. I have nothing else to say. Hey, next week, James will be interesting because that's when we start getting into the faith without works is dead. And it even says, I think he calls him a fool. I mean, he says, you're a special kind of stupid if you don't think that your faith requires works. What are those works? Yeah, we'll find out in chapter 2 because James will start building that next week. The works of the Torah, the works of obedience. Created for good works. Weren't you? Doesn't it say that we were created for good works in Jesus and Messiah? Oops. Do you see how the enemy has ransacked our faith and eliminated all these realities and truths? Oh, we have a comment. Y'all might want to read Revelation 20. Weekends at the lake forever, or for those written in the Lamb's Book of Life. That assurance is being made known for these coming days and times. James, hey, I'm only talking in that hick accent because you said y'all. Hey, Elijah Ministries, where y'all from? Y'all from the deep south? I lived in Dallas for 18 years. I can make fun of Texas and Texans. My favorite, here's my test when it comes to people from the south. Say fine white rice. And they have a hard time saying it. They say you hear fine white rice, fine white rice. No, really, Elijah Ministries. Where are you from, buddy? Louisiana. Cool. That's the South. Hey, thanks for sharing. Appreciate it. I'm not making fun of you. People think, oh, that guy is so rude. He's making fun of somebody that's watching and making fun of them. Oh, come on. Are we children? Can't we have fun? It's Friday. Oh, look at my hair. It's Friday. Okay, tonight, the Sabbath begins the 21st day, the third Sabbath of 7. Oh, well, bless his heart. So a friend of, she's passed now, but one of my favorite friends in Texas was an older lady. a friend's mother. She was a sweetheart, loved her to pieces, and she would look at you and go, "Bless your heart." So yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Huge support. She's gone to be with the Lord. We love her. We miss her. We love you, and miss you, Martha. Not that she can hear us. Can she? Can the dead see and hear? It's been suggested that they can. I don't know. I don't even go there because anything is, it's all assumption, right? I don't know. It doesn't tell us. So anyway, thank you, Roxanne. Anyway, I really don't have anything else to say. Is that rare? It's been 20 minutes, and I've been kind of for like 3 or 4. Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Erev Shabbat Shalom. Have a great Sabbath. We're working our way to the Shavuot, third of fourth Sabbath, counting tonight. What else? Ciao.
The views and opinions expressed during our broadcasts are solely those of the broadcast producers, hosts, and/or guests, etc., and are not necessarily the views or opinions of the Travelog Network, its sponsors, or affiliates.